Discovering my wife and her lover's plan to kill me shattered my world. Leah's betrayal was a dagger to my heart. I orchestrated a detailed plan and revealed their evil scheme at my funeral. See the dramatic fallout of their wickedness. This is my story. I enjoy watching it.
There were no exceptional circumstances in my life that I could discuss. Life was ordinary, neither better nor worse than others. The only thing I could take pride in was my strong work ethic. I always made an effort to connect with people, even though I initially faced challenging circumstances. My parents left me at a very young age. It was an unfortunate incident, a car accident. I barely remember them now, and I had no other relatives. Therefore, from a young age, I had to achieve everything on my own, including the basic necessities of life in society. I actively participated in sports and couldn't imagine a day without a morning run. In the evenings, I enjoyed reading detective stories or watching thrillers. Immersing myself in these stories brought me joy, but I understood that such events rarely occurred in real life. I never imagined that a similar story could unfold in my own life. I had a few friends, but being in their company made me feel happy and valued. We often chose different places to meet and spend our free evenings, but occasionally, even in the most enjoyable moments, I felt a sense of emptiness. I longed for a loved one by my side, but I always tried to push away such thoughts. I had a good job and supportive friends. I reassured myself that things weren't all that bad. However, when it came to relationships, I struggled. I was extremely shy and disliked imposing myself on others. Therefore, the idea of approaching someone and initiating a conversation was out of the question. But one day, everything changed. My world was turned upside down. My friends and I decided to celebrate New Year's Eve together. We had reserved a table in advance at a prestigious restaurant with an excellent entertainment program. As we arrived, we didn't wait for the hot dishes. Instead, we started drinking champagne, clinking glasses, and enjoying the lively atmosphere with dimmed lights and great music. All of this brought smiles to our faces and filled us with happiness. There was no way for our good mood to fade. However, after some time, out of habit, I decided to take a moment for myself. I required a few minutes to organize my thoughts, feel a bit melancholic, and then rejoin my cheerful companions. After a brief moment alone, I managed to dispel any negative thoughts that could hinder my enjoyment. I stepped out onto the terrace and leaned against the railing, gazing at the evening landscape as the sun set. Leah approached quietly and apologized, asking if it would bother me if she stood by, noticing my pensive expression. I smiled and assured her that it was not a problem. Following a few minutes of silence, she initiated a conversation, and words flowed effortlessly from me. To my surprise, we conversed naturally and without any forced effort. Leah, like me, had taken a break from the group. Eventually, we decided to leave the gathering and take a stroll together. Apologizing to my friends for leaving, they noticed Leah waiting by the exit, her eyes fixed on me. They all encouraged me, saying that I had finally found someone special, urging me to get ready quickly. That evening, we walked along the alley, visited cafes, and wandered until the early hours of the morning. 3 years after our first date, Leah and I were living together in my apartment. Our relationship flourished, and I made significant progress in my career. We had a beautiful wedding, and Leah wore a stunning dress she had only dreamed of before. Following the celebration, we embarked on a memorable honeymoon to exotic destinations. With my savings, I purchased a lovely private house and a luxurious car. For Leah's birthday, I surprised her with an extravagant vehicle. We lacked nothing, enjoying fine dining and traveling the world together. Despite having a substantial amount of money in my account, which made me immensely happy, I managed to achieve all of my desired goals. However, the euphoria of success was short-lived. Soon, I started experiencing a decline in my well-being, unlike anything I had ever felt before. My health had always been in good condition, as I took great care of it. But gradually, I began deteriorating day by day. I reached a point where I could barely walk, feeling completely drained. It was then that Leah suggested seeking immediate help from her trusted doctor friend. We visited his private clinic, where they conducted all the necessary tests. The results revealed the presence of a rare disease that had started to manifest itself, and the doctors advised me to stay at the clinic under their supervision. With no other options available, I reluctantly agreed. They prescribed medications for me, but unfortunately my condition did not improve. To make matters worse, my hair started falling out. Leah would visit me regularly, trying to reassure me that things would get better soon. However, my situation continued to worsen. One evening, I felt extremely uncomfortable. It wasn't just my deteriorating health. My intuition told me that something was amiss. I struggled to breathe, feeling suffocated in the hospital ward. In that moment, I made a spontaneous decision to quietly make my way to the hospital rooftop for some fresh air. Despite the doctor's strict orders to remain immobile, I took my phone with me to call a friend and have a chat. Slowly and cautiously, I walked along the corridor, and as I passed by a slightly open door, I noticed a faint light emanating from within. As I approached, I could hear faint moans. I felt a sense of embarrassment, assuming it was just one of the staff members having a bit of fun. Not wanting to intrude, I attempted to quickly pass by. However, as I caught a glimpse through the crack in the door, I thought I saw Leah. It seemed impossible, so I smiled and dismissed the thought. Yet, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to turn back and take another look. Through that narrow opening, I was shocked to see Leah lying half-naked on a table. In that moment, the doctor who had been so polite and supportive towards me, constantly wearing a reassuring smile, was standing there. I struggled to find words to describe the overwhelming mix of emotions that flooded over me when I witnessed that scene. It was a mixture of rage and hopelessness, a refusal to accept reality, a complete misinterpretation of the situation. Initially, I was on the verge of storming into the office and attacking the doctor with my crutch. However, amidst Leah's cries, I suddenly sensed that everything needed to come to an end soon. I would be gone, and all my possessions would pass to her. They would then be living the high life. The doctor's eyes gleamed with delight as he began to articulate his aspirations, his plans for my money. It slowly dawned on me that this was not just about betrayal. They were planning to poison me. I swiftly activated the camera on my phone and started recording a fervent video. Eventually, the conversation circled back to me. It sounded like a genuine confession. Leah questioned why I was still alive, given that she administered the drug daily as per the doctor's instructions. He remarked that it was truly bizarre. The drug should have taken my life long ago. I simply had a robust, healthy heart. Then the doctor assured Leah not to fret, as I only had 2 days left in this state of shock. Accidentally, I made a noise at the door and they turned towards me. Leah scolded the doctor for not closing the door properly and asked him to check if anyone was eavesdropping. I swiftly retreated into a dim corner of the hallway where I remained hidden. The doctor glanced around, then returned to the office, shutting the door behind him. Realizing time was of the essence, I knew I had to flee, evading security and the clinic's staff. Somehow I managed to escape the facility. I contacted a friend who promptly picked me up. I tried to recount the harrowing ordeal as succinctly and swiftly as possible, knowing time was running out. I sought treatment at another hospital, where urgent tests were conducted. The medical professionals were astounded by the results. I recalled the name of the drug Leah and the doctor had discussed. My genuine physician swiftly comprehended the situation and prescribed the necessary treatment. As a result, my life was saved. In order to maintain secrecy, I immediately implored a friend to refrain from informing my wife about the events. Subsequently, I devised a sinister plan for revenge that would inflict suffering upon those individuals. We mutually agreed to stage my demise, informing Leah that I had been discovered in a nearby ditch close to the clinic where she and the doctor had been attending to me. The deception appeared entirely plausible. I couldn't help but envision her jubilation and elation. Undoubtedly, she would be celebrating with the doctor as they prepared to secure the inheritance. Leah was aware that I had no other living relatives aside from her, and since she was my wife, it was only natural that everything would be bestowed upon her. While these despicable individuals reveled in their supposed triumph, I gradually regained my strength. Prior to my funeral, it was claimed that my body had been sent for forensic examination to determine the cause of death. This afforded me ample time to orchestrate an elaborate funeral spectacle intended to be a grand display on the day of my supposed demise. Every detail was meticulously arranged to ensure a natural appearance, thereby enhancing the element of surprise. I had assembled a crowd specifically hired for this purpose. Astonishingly, this wretched woman did not hesitate to attend the funeral ceremony alongside the doctor. She stood there, attempting to force tears from her eyes, feigning profound grief. Suddenly, a message appeared on her phone. As she opened it, she was confronted with explicit footage of her engaging in sexual acts with the doctor, all of which had been surreptitiously recorded by me. The accompanying statements vividly implicated them in my murder. She watched the video, utterly bewildered as to its origin and the identity of the person responsible for its creation. However, in an instant, Leah's demeanor changed dramatically. Sensing my presence behind her, I stealthily approached and placed my hand on her shoulder, whispering into her ear, "How do you like the video?" She turned around, caught sight of me, and paled. I informed her that she would not be able to enjoy my wealth, deceitful creature that she was. Both she and her lover would be condemned to a life behind bars. I had already submitted the incriminating evidence to the police beforehand. Upon seeing me, the doctor attempted to flee, but it was already too late for him. The path was obstructed by a police vehicle, resulting in the apprehension and subsequent handcuffing of the couple. During the court proceedings, I successfully secured an extensive prison sentence for Leah and her partner in crime. Swiftly, I regained my composure, and the void of loneliness ceased to occupy my existence. I savored each and every moment of life without any urgency to embark on new romantic escapades. Thanks for listening to One Infidelity Hit. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop us a like.